Welcome to Dreaded. One tiny speck smaller than a pinch of sugar. That's all it takes to stop a human heart. This is not a scene from a horror movie. This is America's reality. Today, we confront the deadliest drug crisis in U.S. history. Fentanyl. Before we begin, if you believe in shining light on the uncomfortable truths, subscribe to this channel and join me as we uncover what others fear to talk about. Fentanyl wasn't born in back alleys or cartel labs. It began in the world of science. In 1960, Dr. Paul Janssen, a Belgian chemist, created fentanyl as a powerful painkiller for surgery. It was stronger than morphine, quick to act, and easy to control. In hospitals, it saved lives. But outside those sterile walls, fentanyl would become something else entirely. A silent killer. In the 1990s, America faced a different epidemic: prescription opioids. OxyContin was marketed as safe, non-addictive, a miracle for chronic pain. Doctors prescribed it freely. Behind closed doors, pharmaceutical companies celebrated record profits. But on the streets, addiction spread like wildfire. When prescriptions ran dry, desperate people turned to heroin. And soon, heroin itself was replaced, cut, laced, and stretched with fentanyl. Why? Because it was cheaper, easier to smuggle, and 100 times stronger than morphine. The perfect product for dealers, the perfect poison for users. Imagine a few grains of table salt. That's all it takes to kill an adult. Dealers began pressing fentanyl into fake pills. Oxy, Percocet, Xanax. They looked identical to pharmacy medicine, but they were counterfeit, laced with death. Teenagers bought them on Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram. One pill, one night, one choice. And families woke up to lifeless children in their bedrooms. The crisis was no longer hidden in dark alleys. It had entered America's suburbs, classrooms, and homes. In 2021, over 100,000 Americans died from drug overdoses. More than 70,000 of those deaths were from synthetic opioids, mostly fentanyl. Let that sink in. Every 5 minutes, someone in America dies from a drug overdose. More than car crashes. More than gun violence. More than any war the U.S. has fought in recent decades. Fentanyl has become the deadliest drug in American history. But where does it come from? Unlike heroin, which depends on poppy fields, fentanyl is synthetic, made in labs. No crops, no seasons, no farms, just chemicals. Much of it flows through Mexico, controlled by powerful cartels. The Sinaloa cartel, once known for cocaine and heroin, now profits from fentanyl. Chemicals are often sourced from China, shipped to Mexico, cooked into powder, and smuggled across the U.S. border, hidden in cars, packages, and even children's toys. It's cheap, it's deadly, and it's everywhere. Behind every statistic is a face. A 16-year-old honor student in California. A young father in Ohio. A nurse in West Virginia who injured her back and became dependent on painkillers. Fentanyl does not discriminate. Rich, poor, black, white, suburban, urban. It has claimed victims from every corner of America. Parents bury children. Children bury parents. Entire towns mourn their future. There is one glimmer of hope: Narcan. A small nasal spray that can reverse an overdose in seconds. Police officers carry it. Teachers keep it. Some parents even sleep with it on their nightstand. But Narcan is not a cure. It is only a temporary shield. For many, it is too late. For others, it only delays the inevitable unless treatment follows. America is fighting a fire with a water gun. We have seen this before. The crack epidemic of the 1980s, the meth crisis of the 2000s, the opioid painkiller wave of the 1990s. But fentanyl is different. Faster, stronger, harder to detect. A single mistake in dose barely visible to the human eye separates a high from a funeral. The question is, why didn't we learn from the past? Politicians call for stronger borders. Law enforcement raids cartel labs. Public health groups hand out Narcan and clean syringes. Yet the deaths keep climbing. Because fentanyl is not only a supply problem, it's a demand problem. Behind every overdose is pain, unemployment, trauma, loneliness, despair. Until America heals those wounds, the demand for escape will never disappear. And fentanyl will always be waiting. So what does fentanyl teach us? That sometimes the deadliest enemies are not on foreign battlefields, but within our own communities. That one pill, one mistake, can shatter generations. That greed from pharmaceutical giants to cartel bosses can turn medicine into murder. And that America, a nation of innovation and power, is still vulnerable to the smallest speck of poison. This is the story of fentanyl. A story of science turned into sorrow, of profit turned into poison, of families torn apart by something smaller than a grain of salt. The question now is not just how we stop it, but how we stop ourselves from repeating history again and again. Thank you for watching. If this made you think, share your thoughts in the comments. What do you believe is the real cause behind America's fentanyl crisis? Cartels, corporations, or something deeper within society itself? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Dreaded for more truths that others fear to confront.